now that they're that close, you can't say anything bad
Oh,
about
I do it in front of them all the time. It's fine.
I guess you've got a lot coming back.
Mm-hmm.
4 of the 5
Mm-hmm.
established. I guess what does that? How much easier is this spring than it was last year when you were still trying to figure things out?
Oh, as far as figuring things out, I mean, it's way simpler. But the things that we still have to improve on, I think the biggest thing last year is, we're kind of drinking water out of a fire hose, learning a new offense, learning kids, learning all that stuff, right? So it kind of makes it a little challenging. But they did a really good job, and the drills go faster, the calls go faster, all that stuff's a lot more smooth in transition.
What are you expecting from this group? I mean, just in terms of, obviously they had a good year last
Mm-hmm.
year. Running backs had a great year. What are you expecting from your offense?
I mean,
Do they need to take another step?
Oh, absolutely. They need to take another step. But I'm a big process-oriented guy. Like, I know that's a thing and it's an ism and all the things, but, like, you can't worry about the results, right? You have to worry about where am I supposed to put my hands? Am I supposed to move my feet? Am I supposed to make this call? And if I do all those things, then the result that you want may or may not happen. You could do it perfectly and it not work out well. You could do it terrible and it work out well, right? So focus on doing the best that you can with what you're supposed to do at that moment.
Coach Spaz mentioned that second-year jump. For you as a coach coming into your second year here, how much more comfortable are you?
Oh, it's, again, I mean, I was drinking water out of a fire hose. We probably didn't have our whole line here. I think just teaching and all the things, like, it's a lot easier on me. I kind of know the routine and all that stuff.
How proud of you were to see the progress of the group from the beginning of last season to the end of the year?
Well, I think if they were coached better in the beginning of the season, they'd have probably been better. I think that no, I was pleased with what they did because I knew they could do it, and I think once they figured out they could do it, it was really cool to see that light bulb go on. Now, last year was last year. That was last year's team. This has got nothing to do with a hillside of beans, right? But this is the new season, so you can't just say, "Oh, well, that was last year," right? So we got to improve ourselves this year.
What were kind of the conversations like going into the spring with Coach Spath?
We knew that, one, we have to develop some depth, and that can happen. We're trying to play all these young guys right now, like really run them into the ground today, to be honest with you. See where they get when they get mentally tired. Are they going to surrender? Find some adversity. And that showed up, right? That showed up. So I think that's the biggest thing, and then I watch these guys coach those guys up, right? They kind of steal my fun sometimes. They start coaching the other guy up before I get a hold of them. So, but I think the biggest thing is building the depth and then, cleaning up some things that I thought we did poorly last year.
You've got 4 guys here and established. I guess who is that 5th guy right now? And is he on your roster?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I almost called him Groot. Caden's here. I mean, he's Caden was our 6th guy in last year. Now, it doesn't mean he's got the anointment cream. It doesn't mean all these other guys, somebody may take their job. I mean, that's part of the process, right? That's what we're talking about. But, we all trust Caden. I went back and watched, we have 3,600 snaps coming back. And I went back and watched when Sidney went in at left tackle and Caden was having to play right tackle because Campbell had not played that game against BYU. And the amount of progress we made with a bunch of guys that really the 5 of those guys had not played together, and it was live bullets. I mean, it was figured out, and we almost came close, right? Almost isn't good enough, but you get where I'm going with that. Like, you could see it, and so and then when Campbell came back, Caden became the 6th man. I mean, he was playing guard, center. I mean, not everything but center. So both guards, both tackles, and so to watch his maturity right now is awesome. And then you got guys like Joe Crocker and Coleton Thompson and the stump. Colton Siraki and Sean Tompkins having a good spring, Harrison Clough and all those guys. There's a lot of maturing going on, and it's got to happen a little bit faster.
Is Thomason closer than he was a year ago?
Yeah, see, I think the biggest thing, and first of all, I think he's really talented. Okay, and I think everybody puts expectations on people just because of something that was put in the rankings and all that stuff. Linemen are different, right? I've had some that nobody ever wanted that are playing in the NFL, and some of them that were the greatest thing since sliced bread couldn't play dead in the Western, right? So, I mean, it's a growth. But the things that I like to see is that he cares. He loves football now. He's a gym rat. You couldn't get him out of here. So I do love that, and I think he doesn't need to focus on when and where. He just needs to focus on how.
A guy like Ryan Lengyel doesn't play a lot before last year, but then comes in and really steps up and has a good year. I guess it was kind of a clean slate when you came in, but did he surprise you or anybody else on the coaching staff at all last year?
Well, I'm sure he surprised everybody but himself. I mean, I think the more and I think that's more of his game, like getting downhill, putting hands on people, all that stuff. But I think the biggest thing is once he figured it out, again, oh, wow, look what I can do. And then that's kind of the fun thing for us as coaches, right? Watch a kid finally discover that he can do something that you may or may not have thought he could do. In this case, we did think he could do, and then watch him run away with it.
In building that depth, are there some freshmen that you get a look, that maybe got a look today, but just, are there some of those guys that need to kind of?
Yeah, I always think it's really, really hard to play as a freshman. I mean, that's a lot going on down there, and I think we'll have to get one more guy out of the portal, and I think we'll have to, but really like those Harrison and Matthew. I mean, there's a lot of bombs going off around here, so I mean, and they're handling it very well.
It's easy to point to moving Sidney out as kind of the turning point, but I guess overall, how important was he to that group last year and his kind of willingness to do whatever?
I think he was obviously extremely important. He had an anchor. He had some fight about him. And again, he got here in June. It doesn't happen overnight, right? It took a minute, and then he started figuring out. He got his confidence, and then off we went. I think the biggest thing in that off week is we really just took a step back, self-evaluated ourselves. How can we do this better? How can we do that better? We implemented some new structures in practice that really just helped us learn how to move people from point A to point B. And you got to learn how to feel that. You got to learn how to get 2 feet in the ground and lift somebody up and move them from point A to point B.
You've got 4 guys back, but having that center back, how big is that just in terms of that?
It's really big to have both of them back. Now the problem is they all think that they know trigonometry now, and they're trying to reinvent the wheel sometimes. But it's fun. Like it's one-word conversations and stuff like that. So all cool. I think the biggest thing is we just gotta be ourselves and not worry about the noise. Focus on what we can control, and then really just take day by day.
Good. Well, I guess you got 4 guys coming back as established starters. I guess what's your confidence level in this group going into year 2 here for you?
For me, I feel like this is the most experienced group that I've been with so far in my collegiate career. So it's very exciting to play with the guys that I'm familiar with and who I get to play another season with.
How long did it take you to get comfortable here, after you transferred in, and then even get switched to left tackle and all that? How long did it take you to get comfortable?
I feel like for me it didn't take that long because I already had experience coming into the school, so jumping from left guard to left tackle wasn't going to be as hard as an adjustment. It was just more so just studying my playbook, making sure I knew what I was doing, and making sure that I was on the same game plan as those 4 guys.
How proud were you of the group's progression from the beginning of the season to the end of the year?
So this season, I feel like we definitely made a huge dump. I mean, me and Ryan didn't even have any chemistry at first, and we developed chemistry kind of off the field. We made sure to get extra work in with each other, see what our ideas were when it came to certain situations on the football field. And I mean, we all just keep communicating, keep talking to each other, and we just keep gelling every single day.
What's kind of the chemistry like with Sawyer and Bryson?
That chemistry is like big bro, little bro. Like, they respect each other so much, and they're just 2 complimentary guys that we both appreciate on the offensive line.
Coach talked about you older guys kind of coaching up some of the younger guys today. What was that like, and were you okay with like getting in their face or whatever?
So with us, since we have the standard of being the most experienced guys in the group, we make sure to kind of help those guys that are behind us to follow up, because we're not going to be here next year. So we want those guys to be most prepared as they possibly can. So we're very hard on them to get their stuff together, be on point with their technique, and kind of get ahead of the game so that they can be prepared for when we leave and kind of follow on that Union tradition.
You said you built some chemistry with Ryan. What makes him a special offensive lineman, and I mean, what does he add to the group?
What does Ryan add to the group? I mean, sure, Ryan, he's my rhino. I mean, he's going to hit hard for me. He's going to protect my my B side gap. I mean, sure, he's a lovely guy. I mean, we joke around all the time, but when it comes down to when we get in between the lines, I mean, we're both fearless competitors. So we just want to dominate and take over the game, and so that's why I love playing with Ryan Lengyel.
This might be a dumb question.
Oh, go ahead.
Why do you wear the single bar? That's like old school football. Is that your choice or?
Yes. So when I got to the school, I wanted to change up my appearance and kind of be different to the whole offensive line gimmick. And so I thought to go old school because I felt like my game is also old school. I just like that nitty gritty look. So yeah, I'm a one bar guy.
Looks good.
Thank you. That's all the questions.
I think that may be the first time I've ever heard an offensive lineman referred to as a lovely guy. Yeah. How long did it take you guys to get comfortable? I mean, obviously, y'all were still shuffling some pieces around there early in the season. At what point did y'all get really comfortable with each other?
I think we really had a flip after that second bye week. We went into that bye week with lots of focus and intent on getting better as a whole, and I think that's the week we did it.
With the way that this group, the offensive line, finished last year, does that add pressure going into this? Like, do you feel any of that, or is it just?
I guess I wouldn't call it pressure. I would call it more expectations for ourselves. We finished the season in a good way, but we should have started the season well. So that's what we're planning to do next season. And I wouldn't say it's pressure, but we definitely have high hopes for ourselves.
Bryson and Dawson both said they've gained 10 to 15 pounds of muscle. What have you really seen from them, or improvements you've seen so far this spring?
Right, yeah, both of them bigger, stronger, faster. Both of those guys have elite playmaking ability, and with them adding that weight and speed, man, just look out next season.
Looking at last year, what do you think you guys did the best, and what's kind of the one thing you guys want to change this year to improve on?
One thing I'd say we did the best, I would just say our effort. I feel like our effort and physicality, dating back from the first game, I think we always played as a very physical group and with lots of effort. But, what came along in the second half was the technical side of things and understanding the entire play and, getting all five guys on the same page. So I would just say that, yeah.
What are some of the young guys? Who's standing out to you among maybe the young guys or the newcomers?
Right. It's quite a few people. I definitely say Harrison Clough has been standing out to me. Joe Crocker has been standing out to me. Caden Siraki, his new starting role, he's been standing out. It's like, it's like he's been starting since he got here. He's basically our fifth starter, and I say those three guys for sure.
How much of a luxury is it to return four starters where you have so much built-in chemistry with those guys?
It's definitely a luxury. All five of us, we spend a lot of time together. We really know each other, and there's nothing I wouldn't do for these boys, and I'm sure it's the same. The same goes for me. So it's definitely a luxury, and I'm super excited to play with these boys in the fall.
It was like Mason was like last year's last year.
Right. Yeah.
Still have
Right.
something to prove. These guys still have.
Yeah. Before last season, we kind of had that, coming off that season of 3-9, we had that mindset. But Coach Aranda said today, every team is its own team. We can't hold our head high on last year's achievements when we still got a season to play this year. So whatever success our offensive line had, we're going to put that to the side and go to work for this season.
Well, for you, I guess you're kind of going into year 3-ish as kind of the starter. I mean, do you feel at all like a leader of this group?
Of course, yeah. I mean, I do feel like I have to grow up and lead. I feel like I haven't been here very long. It goes by so fast. But while I've been here, I have noticed that I've taken a role that I've got to take. Being center, I've got to make calls and stuff. And so I've got to lift guys up and I just do what I've got to do, for us to get to where we want to go.
You kind of said it, but I mean, being the center, you've got to be kind of that guy,
Right.
don't you? I mean, particularly when you're on the field.
Yes, sir. You can't really hesitate. You get put in that position. You got to do it. You got to know what you got to do. You got to have good football IQ, and you got to know where to send the protection, know where to go. And just have all the pieces put together. And I feel like that I help a little bit, and that all of us together. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Coming off of last year, I feel real comfortable coming and playing with the guys that I played with last year, and it helps me do better myself. So.
you had to build off that year 2 of this offense. How much have you and Sawyer's connection developed in the last year?
Right. Yeah. I mean, me and Saul are good buds. We get in the, I guess, film a lot if we ever communicate. I mean, we talk a lot about checks and stuff if we need to. Certain fronts that we get, we need to check out of it, and so we need to have that little bit of connection to know how to perform on the field, you know. And so, I mean, me and Saul's relationship's pretty good right now. So.
Seems like one of the big moves, obviously, was when Sidney came out of tackle.
Right.
How much did that? I mean, did you see it almost immediately?
Oh, of course.
This is our group, that kind of thing.
Yes, sir. I mean, once you have that kind of feeling prior, like earlier in the season, whenever you're just trying to put the pieces together, understand who fits where, always putting these different O-line, different positions and stuff like that, and just trying to figure it out, you know. And once we put Sid at left tackle, I mean, you could just feel that connection between all of us, understanding that we're on the same page, and, you know, us being all on the same page, that helps, you know. So I feel like that was a big change in our offense, and it helped us a lot. So.
How easy was it, or has it been, to have Caden? Forgive me.
Caden Strachey.
I get my Strachey's mixed up. How easy was it to have him kind of step up into that starting group?
Right. I mean, I feel like he's always been there. He's had a good amount of playing time last year, I think, and the year before last. So he's been in there. He's been in the big games and stuff like that. And so, I mean, he's just doing what he knows how to do, you know. So he's just filling a spot, and now it's his. I mean, not for sure, but, you know, they're competing. But Caden's pretty good where he's at right now, and I feel pretty comfortable with him being there because of his playmaking, you know.
What do you see from Thomason? He came in
CT.
last year, yeah, and just kind of where have you seen him?
Right.
I guess.
Like in practice, you could definitely see his want to learn different things. Like he comes up, he texts me, asks me, calls me, just trying to get more information on how to fix things. You know, you can just feel that he's hungry to get better. I mean, he's doing pretty good, getting better day by day on the field. He's performing really good past few days, and I feel like that he's gonna do pretty good, excel in the future.
Coach said y'all were working on building depth, and you guys did a little bit of coaching today. What was that?
Right. I mean, it gets all of us. I guess are older guys, you know, a little bit now for me. But just being able to coach the younger kids or younger guys, it makes us feel better, you know. And so just knowing that we're not going to be here in a few years, and understand that they're going to have to take our roles one day. And if they are all on the same page, I want to leave here with a good O-line, you know. I don't want to leave here and the O-line is not great. So, I mean, us being able to coach and understand that they understand what they're doing, which they already do, but it allows us to be more comfortable with ourselves, you know, understanding that someone can fill their role without any problems happening.
A guy like Ryan doesn't play a lot before last year, and then comes in and plays at a really high level. Did he surprise you at all?
No. Ryan's always been that guy. You know, you can always see it during practice, or whether it's his football IQ and stuff like that. You can definitely see it in the way he makes calls and just carries himself. You know, so I really wasn't surprised at all. I knew he was going to perform whenever he got in, and it's what he did.
Well, I guess after the season that you as a group had last year, I mean, what are your expectations for your group going into this year?
Yeah, build on last year. You know, last year was last year. I think we're looking to have a hotter start as an offensive line, and kind of that mid-season shift that everyone saw of us performing at a high level, start that week one and continue that through the whole season.
Coach said maybe you surprised everybody but you. So did you know you had it in you to do what you did last year?
Yes and no. You know, it's always been it's always been the thought process of it'll pay off in the end, and everyone kind of runs their own race. And I certainly think that my race was a little bit longer than everybody else's. But, I mean, I'd been preparing for it for 4 years and was just kind of ready for that moment.
Did that ever get frustrating? You've been here for a while, but you didn't play? Did you get frustrated at all?
Extremely, yeah. And especially when you start playing the comparison game, that is not healthy and it's not good to do. But I did do it for a little bit of time. And seeing younger guys come in and playing that other offense before me kind of hurt and stung. But I think it really fueled me into preparing better for this offense.
Spav mentioned when the offense would stall last year. It was mostly because of self-inflicted wounds. How much of an emphasis has it been this spring to clean those things up?
There's been a big emphasis. Even now, like we've got the O-line. If we get penalties, we're running after practice just to kind of cement that penalties are bad and we have to pay for those. And here it's okay to pay for them on running, but in the game it's not okay to pay for them with penalties.
I guess have you noticed? It seems like Coach Miller is focused. That last year is in the past, and it's a kind of a clean slate. Like, do you all subscribe to that too? Like, do you just yes, last year was good, but it's kind of a new book, if that makes any sense?
Yes, sir. We certainly have subscribed to that, and we can feel it with his energy. He hasn't really shifted in the way he's coaching us. It's not like this is bad, but it's okay because of last year. He's still name calling us, ripping us, coaching us how he coaches us, and we're listening to his words, and we're trying to get better every day.
Just being second year in Spav's offense, does that help? Just, knowing that system better a year to year now?
Yeah, it helps a whole bunch. Now we didn't really have to focus in on how slow we installed stuff, especially going into padded practices in the spring. We got off hot when we came back in January and we started football schools, reinstalled everything for the young guys. And once we put pads on, we were go, 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 had 90% of the offense in within the first 2 days.
For you, during the spring practices, what is it that you want the guys to kind of focus on the most before the season begins?
Yeah, I would just say the little details. I think a lot of times when we got in some rough spots, it'd be little details. We miss ID something here. We let a run through happen here. We miss a twist here, especially for like everybody. I did it too. And so I think when we hammer out those and then we have a clean pocket, we've got clean running lanes, we're going to shoot off as an offense.
I guess as someone who sat for a little bit, like, are you passing that along to the next generation of Baylor offensive linemen about patience and kind of waiting your turn and staying positive and all that fun stuff?
Certainly, yeah, and I've kind of always preached that of, like, it doesn't matter what happens, you're here to get an education first, especially as student athletes, but, like, you can see when people have flashes, and I think that's what really helps them with their patience is, like, I did it this day, I can do it the next day, and then we grow a little bit more the next day, and so I've kind of been helping some people that have been struggling with that.
Did you enjoy coaching today, I guess, a little bit? Coaching the young offensive linemen up?
Yeah, it's a really weird role for me because I remember when guys like Connor Galvin and Xavier Newman would do that for me, and so now that I'm in their roles, it's a little weird.